The Bawku issue na kosono say at this point there is a court update. Now let me just take you through the sequence of events and baby ayababedu. Now dear koso Bawku, we've reported on several occasions on this platform enye asem kese and I mean enye news enye say enye asem kese be enye news otumfo say to mediation reports by aban eteki action and Mamprusi for hinina or carry ne ho as Bawku hinino ye kokoche no. Now police for ekokoche na national security kokoche no omode no ekoshe baby safe, right? But Mamprusi for anti-asie. And almost every single day, we saw some of them demonstrating, saying, say, "Wamu de Boko Haram beba Ghana and the DND." But now, omo lawyer, in a person of Martin Pebu, onone diane say, "Osiki bail ama papano, si enye ni release papano." But inside story, ameti and say, Mamprusi for penyum fobi, ya momo kwanse wamunko humba baby a papano ewo because once na Mamprusi for no mubuefu. Na mpenyifo no kohun baby a papa no wono. Some of them they were happy. And I make us omo mo kohun papa no they were happy because yes in the condition ni baby a yede nesi na ne say bia a prison bi na we be he was in a very good condition baby a na yede no so ahye no o yo bia wo jojo ne ho baby a wo jojo ne ho ne nyama. Nti mebunu na no mubuefu no me sure say it was a move for them to understand say and they say bia ya chid no dia na akwa share intokuro bi mu ana bibim what you say still, lawyer Oye Martin Pebu was fighting for bail, and Martin Pebu has a history. Martin Pebu Yobia, he believes that every single thing, every single crime deserves bail. Embre na Ghana has say you accuse you of murder, a unbailable offense. But with lawyers like Martin Pebu, omo konya ema abain. Ebabe decide yes say well enye aban but ema embra ebabe decide yes okay so ye chi obi for murder krana e was ye money bill inti Ghana has ende o commit offense bia ye bailable ye betumi ama bail what you say inti me hunza Martin Pebu was fighting for bail ema papen anya me wanwa inti ende ye say courts are granting the bail now you are granting the bail of 100,000 Ghana cedis, and so we are going to go into it and then we are going to understand. And then your first time will have Mr. subscribe and click the notification bell so. This our latest news be about on sa ebeka mikuswa kai mo say owoba ana owo fasi bi na or throne of deck ana person throne of deck a school ba kope a sanctuary college or more than someone they have hostel facilities. Frewomo e was 0537730272. Mesanso kai will say oye nurse ni now person koko practice wa brochia eya na yema mo throw exams bi afen out baby angrofo throw exams no air passing a sanctuary college na for the same number 0537730272 na uya makayo se Ghana ha wuti e wo se o sha se wu make sika e wo man we mu book na eda screen so no me recommend am book no ebe trail baby a odi usika be hye na daachi bi aso abapa ama ope hard copy of the book I'll be to me on Amazon oko Amazon now type the Ghanaian investor book no beba na wa pebiato. There is also a WhatsApp number 0558074986 and on ope ebia obeso read the book no phone so a soft copy and I say I can ye odin into ope book no ne twi video and an English video sa number no 0558074986. Link be our comment box nimo. The second link, links near me inside the second link, and no click it so you'll be able to download the book on your phone. Now I'll say Bawku chieftaincy court grants Alhaji Seidu Abagri 100,000 bail. I say Alhaji Seidu Abagri, a 79-year-old retired teacher, accused of acting as a chief in Bawku without qualification, has been granted bail by the High Court in Accra. I say he was admitted to bail in the sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties after an application by his lawyers. As part of the bill terms, Abagri is required to report to the National Intelligence Bureau twice weekly on Mondays and Thursdays. In the bill conditions, now no. Part of the terms, and they say every week be a Monday and Thursday. I will say or call a year BNI for her. Right, yes, yeah. And they are from National Intelligence Bureau. I say he has also been directed not to leave the jurisdiction and to refrain from presenting himself or allowing himself to be presented as a traditional leader. Now, another thing that yes, I can actually say my own free jurisdiction, and I would want to believe that the jurisdiction I can have Accra, because Accra has a any dinasem Accra High Court in the dinasem into no yakatre no se mo free Accra. Ya sanso akatre ne say ma wonye ne ho se wo yo hene ene ne de za part na bedin e bedin because ebia no be na adwen se wonye ne ho se wo yo hene but ne nkrofo still ne nkrofo ne be treat ne se oyo mo hene Mamprusi for no still won be treat ne se oyo mo hene enti so mu treat ne se oyo hene obeka trom so munja ya na. Well, this is what the court has said, right? Or this is what the court is saying. I'll say the prosecution has further been instructed to ensure that the accused, who is also facing charges of provocation of riots, offensive conduct conducive to breach of peace, and fighting with weapons, receives medical attention. And the Yakatra Bang say MC Papano with this 79. 79 de o ye de ya ne ho beto do no kakra nipa de unyi a ya na ho ahya se toto kakra intino yaka atre aban se omo make sure se papa no ombehwe no ombema doctors sini so de bia doctors ebehwe no. So the case has been adjourned to March 23rd 2026 inti case no hwa next month ene de akwakopie mu. As a legal representative for the accused, Martin Kpebu described the grant of bail as a positive step for Ghana's democracy. Also, this is good for our democracy. I remember the last time I complained that the charges are midnight charges, so we shouldn't use those to deny the accused bail. Now that he has been admitted to bail, that's the right time. It conduces to the improvement of our democracy. Though the state has been talking about security, the thing is, will the state be able to keep him in custody forever? No, Kpebu said. The accused has been charged with acting as a chief without qualification, contrary to the Chieftaincy Act, provocation of riot, contrary to Section 200 of the Criminal Offences Act, 1960, Act 29, offensive conduct conducive to breach of peace and fighting with weapons, and has pleaded not guilty to all 4 counts. Now, I want to do something, right? I want us to go on a little, is it even going to be little? I want us to go on a research trip, in the sense that yenhwe charges are yede abono, right? And let's try as much as possible to see, because I feel say the storm is not over. A lot of people might think say you're granting a bill, no, asem no, but the storm is not over, because social charges are there born and they are very serious charges. And so let's look into it and see, because yeah man the bill nimpu na nkro for akwakoye diomo na de bia wo mo kokota ekoye we na I mean ye diobi kokota 2 things. Either send nipa kono be di nkunima na aban be di nkunim. Sa aban di nkunimu a na tese papa e bia ye be china tum for real. Enti se koba ne sa na ye se papa ye china tum dia. Na we yan chini ntum mpu na nkrofo koye we wo court na koba ne sa na ye se ye china tum dia na ye den na be si. So I feel like there's a storm brewing. There's a storm brewing if we don't know or we don't see how to handle this well. But I want us to check through the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, and then check say sa offences yeah ye dia bono. Say koba ne say aban edi nkunimo a what will be his sentence. What might be his sentence? Let's check through it and see. Or say under Ghanaian law, principally, the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, both offensive conduct conducive to breach of the peace and fighting with weapons are criminal offences in the category of misdemeanors. This means they are punishable offences, but they do not carry the most severe felony penalties like long-term imprisonment or death. Or say, here is how these specific offences are treated under the law. Or say, offensive conduct conducive to breach of the peace. This is defined under Section 207 of Act 29. It applies to someone who, in any public place or at a public meeting, uses threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior with the intent to provoke a breach of peace, or where a breach of the peace is likely to occur due to the conduct. Penalty, it is a misdemeanor. While the text of the statute itself in Act 29 does not prescribe a specific fine or prison term in the version online, misdemeanors under Ghana's criminal law are generally punishable by imprisonment, often up to 1 year, a fine, or both. Into what charges are diabo papa na say a misdemeanor. First one, a misdemeanor. Now, fighting with weapons. Also, this offense appears under Section 203 of Act 29. Challenging or agreeing to fight with weapons. It covers acts done with intent to provoke another person to fight, whether in a public place or not, with a deadly or dangerous instrument, or anyone who agrees or offers to agree to such a fight. Penalty, also a misdemeanor. Sentences for misdemeanor typically include imprisonment, often up to around 1 year, a fine, or both. Into which charges, the main charges are diabo papa na say a misdemeanor. Na misdemeanor no say say chiwa to mo usually no 1 year, but mostly no be pesike bia ma say tua. Atia say into which senior aircona if he is found guilty, me sure say be man fine. Basically, that's just me and my thinking. So this is it. Montreal, your comment box, Nimo.